Welcome to the Pope Prep High School Football Coaches Show. Today's show is brought to you by Clausen Group Realtors, local real estate sales, investment, and property management. We treat your home like it's our own. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, please welcome the host of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show, Kyle Reynolds, and Pope Prep head coach, Brian Sneed. Welcome into the Pope Prep Weekly Football Coaches Show. I'm Kyle Reynolds, joined by Coach Brian Sneed.
Thanks, Kyle.
Coach, 2 weeks in a row, 2 wins. 2 region wins, which gets you to 2-1 in the region. Talk about the 41-14 win over Good Pasture, a very good football team, a very young football team, kind of like us, but a great win on Friday night. There's no such thing as a bad win in my book.
No, it was a big win. It was much needed for our team for some momentum, picking up 2 region wins in a row. And I think both our offensive and defensive staffs had good plans going into it. You can see from we want to establish a run and kind of throw off of that, and we were able to do that. And defensively, we want to slow down their rushing attack. We knew they were going to be heavy run just like we are, and make them earn it down the field and try to make plays through the passing games, and we were able to control that. So, Coach Carpenter, our defensive coordinator, and Coach Park, our offensive coordinator, I thought did a great job. And, obviously our players, executing the plays. We talked about grading our week of practice last week, and they did a good job with the preparation, and that showed up on Fridays, which is always what you want.
Elijah Robb averaged almost 9 yards a carry Friday night, 30 carries, 272 yards, 5 touchdowns, 38 yards is long. Talk a little bit about what that young man is doing, because I believe he is over close to 800 yards on the season, halfway through the season.
Yeah, so he's we knew from day one he's going to be a big part of our offense. I don't think anyone was expecting him to have quite the day that he had, so that was fun to watch. And you could just tell he was running what we say downhill. I mean, he's running hard. He's running over second level, third level defenders. He's making guys miss. I thought our offensive line did a great job of kind of giving him space to kind of get down the field, and to be able to put in the end zone 5 times is pretty incredible. And regardless of a region opponent or not, I mean that's a hard task to do. And so it was fun. It was fun to watch him succeed like that, and our team succeed on homecoming in front of a good crowd and a team right down the road. So it was a fun atmosphere all the way around.
And then the freshman, Hudson Holman, another great performance, 11 of 13. He's completing almost 70% of his passes on the season. But 11 of 13, 133 yards and a score. Talk a little bit, again, we talk every week about his progression, but talk about where he is halfway through the season.
Yeah, he's starting to understand what we are wanting offensively. He's understanding that we're setting up the run or running the ball to set up the pass, and when we need to take advantage of the passing situations, he had a good ball down the sideline to Hudson Curley and threw some good screen passes, and I think he's playing within the system. He's not trying to do too much. He's doing what we're asking him to do, and that's why he's being efficient. When you can run the ball for 270 yards and 5 touchdowns, you're going to set up plays in the passing game, and to be able to take advantage of those is what good teams do, and we're trying to be a good team, and he is staying calm and being consistent right now. Early in the season, a couple interceptions that went for touchdowns, and he never really got rattled from that. He's just continued to learn and get better.
You're a defensive coach, defensive side of the ball. It's got to excite you when you see double-digit tacklers on the night. Kyron Coleman, 12 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. J.J. Lynch, 11 tackles. Talk a little bit about the performance of those guys and what you saw on Friday night.
Yeah, so our defense as a whole did a great job of just getting to the football. We're tackling better than we did the first couple games of the season. That's been a point of emphasis in our practices. Coach Carpenter's made sure that we're continuing to improve in our tackling, and that, again, showing up on Friday. Kyron and JJ both being sophomores, being our 2 top tacklers for the game. It just shows you how they are wanting and willing to take coaching points and continue to improve week in and week out. So, our team is still not playing to the level that I think is reaching our ultimate potential. We want to keep getting better every week, and we've seen progression the last few weeks. But when you have, Kyron coming downhill and making tackles, a couple for a loss, and then JJ's a safety, sometimes it's hard to get safeties to come downhill and the tackle. And in order to stop the run, we've talked, a couple times the last few weeks of getting numbers in the box. You have to include your secondary players, especially against running teams. They have to be able to come down and be willing to make a tackle. And JJ's probably our smallest guy on defense, but he's willing to stick his nose in there and do the things we're asking him to do.
Mid-season, it always feels weird to say it. We've passed the 5-game mark now. Still feels early. Still feels like we just sat down and started our first show. Who are some of the guys that have surprised you in a good way this year? Some of the young guys who've not, you had to count on, but you didn't know what you were going to get until the lights turned on. We knew what we were going to get from Elijah Robb. But talk a little bit about some of those guys who have shown up for you so far this year that you're pleased with.
Well, a couple of young guys up front for us has been Carter Taylor, our center, who's a sophomore, and Jarius Jones, also a sophomore. I mean, those guys have, just like a lot of our guys, continuing to get better. But you're seeing it in the stat book, not under their names, but under Elijah's name or whoever's running the football. So, they're doing a good job. Coach Montgomery, our offensive line coach, has done a great job of kind of getting our offensive line to mesh together, to get them to understand, what we want, how to communicate, how to come off the ball firing off hard, and they're doing a good job moving people around up front to give Elijah the running room. Defensively, we talked a little bit about J.J. Lynch. Last year was a guy that in our JV games was making a lot of plays. And so we said, is this going to be a guy that's going to be able to help us this early as a sophomore? It turns out he has. He recovered a fumble, double-digit tackles this past game. But then one of our upperclassmen, Evan Nasari, a junior, we talked about him last week as being a fifth captain, and even from the start of the season, really struggled tackling. We talked about our secondary coming in and adding that +1 in the box, and he had missed tackles. He knows our defense, and just really struggled with that. But continue to take coaching points, continue to work before, after practice on his footwork. And honestly, he's become one of our most confident tacklers over the past 2 or 3 weeks, which is exciting.
And one of the things, and we're going to break down plays, or you are going to break down plays, but each week when you look ahead to opponents, and it's one of the cool things that we do, and you talk about what the opponent likes to do, are there ever any surprises when you go certainly after week 1, or is it pretty much what you expect and what the kids should expect, and then it just comes down to the players out there executing what you've coached them up to do?
Yeah, I'd say probably 80 to 90% of the game is what we expected, what we've seen on film. Every team usually throws a wrinkle in there here or there, or has a backup plan if their defense isn't stopping us or their offense isn't moving the ball. They'll start trying to change things a little bit and see if they can find some areas different ways. But for the most part, it comes down to who's going to execute your base offense and your base defense the best. The things that you've been running, usually when you are more confident in your base offense, base defense, the players play a little bit faster, they play a little bit harder, there's less thinking going on. It's now become habit to them. So that's usually what coaches stick with mostly. Goodpasture did throw a little bit of a different look to us that we hadn't seen on the defensive front from them. And our offensive staff did a good job adjusting. I think we'll see a play, when we break it down here in a second of kind of how we adjusted to that. And but yeah, it's always a little bit of a chess match, going into it. But usually, I'd say it's typically what we see on film with a wrinkle here or there.
Well, let's step over and look at some plays from the 41-14 victory on Friday night.
So we'll look at a couple of offensive plays from our win over Goodpasture last week. So this is one of our touchdown runs here. We're in the red zone. And this is one of the adjustments that Goodpasture had for us. Usually they're a 4 down front. They have 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. So what we had been doing earlier in the game, we were pulling a bunch of linemen. We were pulling both guards and getting to the edge here and letting Elijah kind of run. So right now what they've done is they've gone to a 5-man defensive front so that we're not able to pull both guards. So what Coach Carpenter and our offensive line coach, Coach Montgomery, decided would be a good counter to their counter would be to run this play right here. So what we're going to do is, instead of pulling both guards, we're going to block back everybody. Everyone's going to block back, and we're just going to pull this backside guard, Will Johnson, right here. So we're going to have an off block. Everyone's going to off block here. Our tight end's going to off block. Will is going to pull and try to kick out the last defensive lineman, which he slants in. So it's going to be this linebacker right here. He's going to try to kick him out, which he does a good job of. He's going to get to that outside shoulder. Usually we try to kick him out and get upfield. You see our tight end wrapping right there for the linebacker. So we had a hat for a hat. And Elijah makes a good read right here, bounces outside, and is able to, again, put his shoulder down, get into the end zone. Hard physical run right there. And that's what we want from our offensive line. That's what we want from our running back right there. Getting in the end zone, running hard. So later in the game, we have a 2nd and 1 right here. Usually 2nd and 1, you're expecting to pick up the first down, whether by your run game. So, this is an area where most offensive coordinators like to take a shot just to see if we can get something over the top. So we have a vertical play called right here, where our receivers are just running vertical routes. So our quarterback is looking at the secondary. Up top, you got 2 receivers and 3 defensive players, so that's probably not a good area to throw to. You see this free safety kind of cheating inside the hash right here, so he's probably going to be a middle of the field player. So while Hudson is looking at all of that, we see just a one-on-one matchup down here, expecting this free safety to be in the middle of the field just from game plan and then where his alignment is inside the hash. So we're going to take a shot with Hudson Holman down here to Hudson Curley. Hudson Curley does a good job of kind of speed releasing out there. There's a great ball thrown by Hudson Holman, just short of the end zone. Puts it perfectly on his outside shoulder, and is able to set us up for another score. All right, defensively, we came into the game plan wanting to stop the run. This is a good play call here, and really just well executed by our front, our defensive line, and our linebackers. So we've seen this play before. We're kind of bringing a run blitz from the backside right here, and we're angling our defensive lineman to the right, our defensive right. So I want to take a look right here at Connor Lynn, our defensive end. So he's angling to his right. He steps down, and he sees a pulling guard coming to him. So he wants to step back down and what we call box that pull. So he's going to box that pull, make the running back cut up inside for the rest of the guys to make a tackle. The running back doesn't cut up inside, so Connor's able to get in on that tackle. The other thing, too, we teach is, when we angle, we're not just angling to gaps. We're going to angle and try to beat the offensive lineman that's trying to block us. So our nose, you can't see behind the center right here, does a great job of crossing the face of this guard, and then our other end does a great job of crossing the face of the center there. So we're able to cross face. It makes it hard on the offensive line to block us when we're moving like this. That's why we like to add in movement to our defensive calls. And all of it starts working together. We're able to make a tackle for a loss right there. And then, like we mentioned before, once we stop the run game, we're going to see if our opponents are able to make plays in the passing game. Caleb Halleck down here does a good job. We're disguising one-on-one coverage right here as far as a press coverage look. So he's looking like he's pressed, similar to what we saw on our play from Hudson Holman passing to Hudson Curley. So this quarterback's expecting he's going to have a good matchup right here. Caleb disguises it well to now where he starts bailing. So we're taking away the deep throw first. So it looks like the deep throw is going to be there just by his alignment. Right before the snap, we start bailing to make sure that we stay on top of the deep throw. And then Caleb does a good job keeping his eyes on the ball once he's in phase position right there on the receiver, and has ended up getting a big interception to kind of give us some momentum back in that second quarter. So that was a good job by him. Guys getting excited. Again, big momentum swing right there.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Now we're going to sit down with Nina Howdeshell, who will visit with Kyron Coleman, who had, I believe, 12 tackles. Was that the case? Yep. 12 tackles on Friday night. Take it away, Nina.
I'm here with Kyron Coleman, our Student Athlete of the Week. Kyron had 12 tackles and 1 for a loss. Kyron, tell me about your big game on defense this past Friday.
I think it was overall a pretty good performance for the defense. We made a few mistakes, but we cleaned it up halftime, and we kept fighting. No matter what the score was, we just kept it up all game.
Can you talk about the importance of film study?
Film is important because we have to, look into our opponents. We have to, figure out their schemes, figure out what plays we need to run, and what's best for our defense against their offense. So stuff like that.
And who do you try to model your game after?
I would say I model my game after Vontaze Burfict whenever he was with Cincinnati Bengals.
Now it's time for some rapid-fire questions. Kyron, what was the last show you binged?
Suits on Netflix.
That's a good one. Okay, what is your go-to meal after a big game?
I usually get pizza or wings.
Okay, and what is your dream college to attend?
The Ohio State University.
And what is your hype song before a big game?
Bullseye 2 by Boston Richie.
So Clausen Group Realtors, we're a small niche shop, and we help people buy and sell their properties. We're involved with people when they buy and sell. They're not just a number.
I'm a buyer specialist. All I do is help people find their next perfect home. And I'm in homes every day. If I'm not showing, then I'm previewing, so I know what's out there on the market.
The experience with Matt and his group here at Clausen Realty was amazing. It was very much a family environment. It was very professional. It was incredible. I feel like we made friends for life.
So if you need to sell a home or buy a home, our website is www.clausengrouprealtors.com.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I thought I could hold my liquor.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Welcome back, Coach. Back out on the road this week in what is going to be what I'll call a true road game, heading to Davidson Academy. Historically, been a really good football team. They're 5-0, 1-0 right now in the region. This is the start of 3 straight road games for you. Talk a little bit about expectations on Friday night and what you're looking for.
Well, we're trying to obsess over improvement. So we talked to our team about continually to improve, not being satisfied. I know we had a good win last week, but we have some things that we need to keep getting better at. There's always distractions when you go on the road. It's a little bit different environment. Locker room is different. The setup is different. How you do your pregame is slightly different than what you do at home. So, just managing those expectations and making sure that our guys understand, stay focused on what you're there to do and play a football game and play clean and continue to, stay locked in on those things and not worry about all the things out of your control, but only worry about the things that are within your control.
And it's a place that's not familiar to a lot of our guys because they haven't been there before. Mm-hmm. Previously when we would go to MBA, you kind of knew what to expect in these different schools. So it's nice to have them back, kind of on the schedule here and get this opportunity on Friday night. What are you expecting to see out of this Davidson Academy team who's off to a really good start this season?
Yeah, they're gonna try to throw it around. So it's a little bit different than some of the teams that we've played to start the year. Everyone that we've played has really been, emphasizing heavy on the run game first and throw off of it. Their top formation is trips and spread 2x2, and they got a really good quarterback that's gonna throw it around in space and see if we can tackle out in the open field. Defensively, they kind of do what they do with a 4-down front and mix in cover 3, cover 1. They got I think their defensive linemen and linebackers are really good, and they do a good job of kind of trying to counterattack the run game with how they squeeze and scrape their linebackers. They're going to try to throw it over the top of us and try to shut down our run game. And, it's going to be a little bit different for our defense, seeing a team that way. So, we've been working hard all week to make sure that we are ready for that attack.
Well, let's step over and check out the video board. We're going to break down some plays here and see what they have to offer for Friday night.
All right, we're going to take a look at Davidson Academy. Good start to their season. They're 5-0. They're undefeated in the region as well. And so this is their defense here in the white. They're a 4-down front team, which we've seen quite a bit this season. And they'll kind of mix up between a 4-2 with just 2 linebackers in the box and a couple high safeties, or in this look, they're playing a 4-4 where they're going to roll down a safety and have 4 across and their linebackers right there. So this is a formation we run a lot. This is Davidson playing against Lincoln County. So when we're game planning, we like to look at teams that have run our similar formations, similar plays, and just try to figure out what Davidson is doing. Same play that we run and that we've seen, the few weeks in a row. This is a counter play where they have a pulling guard and the tight end is also pulling. And Davidson does a good job right here. They like to squeeze. We talked about how, our defensive end boxed the play where we kind of force that running back inside. Davidson's defense likes to squeeze the pull right here. He's going to squeeze tight, kind of make that thing spill out to unblocked linebackers. I think the strength of their defense is their front four and their linebackers. So we got to be ready and prepared for the squeeze when we pull our guards and get our guys, our running back running downhill hard right there. In the secondary, they're usually a one-high team, so they'll play mostly cover 3 and some cover 1. So again, different areas of the field to attack based on their coverages, but knowing when teams are one high. Usually teams are a one high team when they want to bring extra guys down the box to stop the run. Offensively, this is one of their favorite formations. We call this just trips, where they got 3 receivers spread out to the field here, 1 receiver backside. So no tight ends in the game right here. We call this just 10 personnel. 10 personnel means there's 1 running back and no tight ends. This is usually a heavy passing formation. So what Davidson's going to do here, they got 2 plays called actually. So they have a run play called up inside here. We call this a counter tray, where they're going to pull both their guard and their tackle. And then they also have a bubble route called out here. And the quarterback just decides which play to run based on the numbers. So you look at the numbers in the box versus the numbers who's out here defending. On those trips, they got 3 out here. So 2 to block 1, and this guy's really tight. So anytime that linebacker is going to be in tight, they're going to kind of spread that ball out and throw that out on the bubble route and just see if they can get some yards in space right there on the blocking. If you start spreading out to try to take that away, what you'll see is they'll just hand the ball off to the running back right here and play this run game. So we got to make sure that we do a good job of how are we going to line up? How are we going to disguise? How are we going to make that read unclear for the quarterback? And then obviously we got to be able to tackle in space and stop their athletes, as they get the ball out on the field. So should be a good, exciting game. Obviously our team's looking forward to playing a team that's gotten off to a great start, and it should be a good opportunity for us.
Thank you, Coach. Now Nina Howdeshell is going to sit down with Director of Advancement, Michelle Barber, to talk about the Celebration 2023 coming up on October 28th here at the school.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I'm here now with Miss Barber. Miss Barber, you have your annual celebration this upcoming October 28th. Tell me a little bit about it.
Thank you, Nina. We are very excited to be hosting our annual celebration 2023 here on campus on October the 28th. It is a 21-plus event, so we hope all of our parents, alumni parents, all of your family and friends will join us here on campus for a fun-filled night of fellowship, gaming, some great food, and a really great time will be had by all.
Can you talk about the entertainment that's going to be there?
We have a great lineup that night of a live band. Music City Sounds will be playing for us. A live band, lots of great music. They cover all the 80s, 90s, and into current music, all different genres. So we plan on really dancing the night away. We also are going to have an awesome amount of gaming that night under the Cindy and Terry Wallace family Midway, where we'll have glow golf. We will also be offering casino gaming with fake money And as you play the gaming throughout the night, you can collect your fake funds, and we will also be offering some live auction items that night to play with the fake money. And we'll also have an awesome amount of live auction items, and we'll play for real money on those.
And if someone wants to sponsor, how did they go about that?
We are really excited to share that we have a long list of sponsors, and we hope those of you watching tonight will also feel like joining that long list of sponsorships. We are so appreciative of the Isaacson family and Serpro, who is our presenting sponsor, the Wallace family, who is our midway sponsor, but it takes a lot of sponsorships to pull off such an extravagant night, and we would appreciate anyone who's interested to contact the advancement office and learn more about sponsorship opportunities.
How does someone get tickets?
You can go to the school website or give me a buzz and I'll direct you to our ticket sales.
Sounds fantastic.
Watch it! Did that guy even see that girl on her bike?
Just like looking for other cars before switching lanes, drivers should keep their eyes out for those traveling on bikes. When a crash occurs between a vehicle and a bike, it's the cyclist who is most likely to be injured. Give cyclists room and do not pass too closely. Riders have the same rights and responsibilities as those behind the wheel.
Be aware, be alert. Brought to you by THSO, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
So Clausen Group Realtors, we're a small niche shop, and we help people buy and sell their properties. We're involved with people when they buy and sell. They're not just a number.
I'm a buyer specialist. All I do is help people find their next perfect home. And I'm in homes every day. If I'm not showing, then I'm previewing, so I know what's out there on the market.
The experience with Matt and his group here at Clausen Realty was amazing. It was very much a family environment. It was very professional. It was incredible. I feel like we made friends for life.
So if you need to sell a home or buy a home, our website is www.clausengrouprealtors.com.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out, he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Thank you, Nina. Coach, good luck. We're at Davidson Academy this Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Good luck.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it.
You've been watching the Pope Prep High School Football Coaches Show with Kyle Reynolds and Pope Prep head football coach Brian Sneed. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest news about Pope Prep High School football. The Pope Prep High School Football Coaches Show was brought to you by Clausen Group Realtors and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.